All right, everyone, welcome back to the land of Chem. I am your host and the author. My name is Jeffrey Drum. Thank you all so much for joining me again. All right, everyone, welcome back to your first glimpse into the land of Chem 2024 research expedition to investigate the functional structures of ancient Japan. This is Sunday Site Visit 74, lightning symbols and white horses. My only plug for today is please go subscribe to Let's Go with Lex and G so you can see the rest of the spectacular content from this amazing adventure, including the Tokyo Underground Fetish Party, the Wonka Soba Noodle Battle, the epic gyoza eating marathon, and a whole lot more coming up soon. Link in the video description below. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you all so much for the support. I think that is it for today's intro, so without further ado, let's get right to it.
All right, next stop, here at the Tuatha Shrine. And the purpose for this visit, let me bow at the entrance of the Torii Gate, which is the appropriate custom. The purpose for this visit is to establish a connection between the sacred, ancient temple and shrine locations across Japan with thunder and lightning deities. And you can see here these white decorative pieces of cloth hanging from the rope. I'll explain the symbolism of that here in just a moment. And here at the Tuatha Shrine, this location is connected with the Osireion, which is described as a great illuminating deity and a shining apparition, typically associated with lightning. And the description is certainly appropriate, a shining, illuminating apparition. It is also connected to the deity Take Minakata, which is the god of thunder, wind, rain, and agriculture. And during this expedition, I will also be providing further justification for the construction of these stone circle complexes and the associated white horse hills, which we will also be seeing here in Japan, directly connected to agriculture. So there is a profound synergy between these three ideals: thunder, lightning, and agriculture, all three of which have become symbolically deified in various gods across Japan. One in particular, Susanoo. And you can see more of these white emblems. And before I get to the main one, what does that look like to you? Pretty obvious. But we'll get to an explanation of the esoteric symbolism of the rope and the white decorations here in just a moment. And I will say, since this is your first glimpse into our expedition across ancient Japan, it is breathtakingly gorgeous. And we visited some of the most beautiful sights that I have ever seen in my life thus far on this adventure. It was exactly what I had hoped for. And by the time you're watching this, we are about 2 weeks in to a month-long expedition. So we're going to explore the shrine, take a look at some of the esoteric symbols. Again, all of this information establishing the precedent for what you will see during the upcoming expedition, specifically associated with this ancient lightning technology.
And don't step on these always over.
Good to know. All right, and before we approach the main sacred shrine over here, let me walk over here and explain the esoteric symbol that you see hanging from this shrine. So what we have here, the twisted rope, these white pieces of cloth, and then these bunches here. The twisted rope itself representing the thundercloud. The white cloth, well, it is exactly what it looks like. It's lightning. And these, symbolic of rain. And as we have traveled thus far across the country of Japan, so many of these ancient shrine structures are connected to ancient megalithic sites that existed before the construction of the Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples. And what we've seen thus far is that these are powerful and functional sites that are directly associated with attracting lightning strikes and distribution of that electric current throughout this ancient megalithic landscape. For a variety of applications that I'll be discussing step by step during this expedition. And so now we're gonna walk up to the shrine, make a little prayer, and this will serve as the primary explanation for the thundercloud, lightning, and rain symbols that you will see across this expedition. But that's not all. white horse symbols all across these ancient sites, all directly connected to thunder, cumulonimbus, thunderstorm clouds, and lightning. Two forces that were later embodied within these deities of ancient Japan. And it appears that the Neolithic civilization that once inhabited this country, the mysterious Jomon, had the same ability to utilize the voltage and electric current from lightning, again, for a variety of applications: chemical engineering, and I won't get into the other ones quite yet. I will let the mystery unravel in due time, which is the entire purpose of this research expedition. But at this point, I will say that there are several significant atmospheric chemical reactions that occur during thunder and lightning storms that are the primary impetus for the construction of these pyramid mountains, like Mount Coromanta and the associated stone circle complex systems. I can promise you this is going to be a wild adventure based on what we've seen thus far. And the stone circles and pyramid mountains are just two of the vast array of different ancient structures that we'll be investigating on this research expedition. And before we leave the shrine here, I'll give you your first preview. The Japanese white horse. And Teru. Well, let me introduce you to Teru, our good friend who helped set up this entire expedition. This here on top, this is that same symbol from inside about the thunder.
Yeah, yep.
So this symbol here is the symbol for thunder, riding on the back of the white horse. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Really awesome. And there are a number of symbols contained within the Holy of Holies of the shrine that you'll see on our expedition to the Ishigami Jinja. Which in my opinion has been the most powerful site other than that other one.
The dolmen.
Yeah. Anyway, we have lots of surprises coming up on this expedition. All right, everyone, welcome back. And we're going to begin today's episode with an explanation of the 3 atmospheric chemical reactions that were the primary justification for the construction of the stone circle systems and White Horse Hills, not only all over the UK, but also here in Japan. And we've come to this shrine so I can show you the largest Shimenawa symbol in the area, which is the huge twisted rope that you can see in front of me. And this artifact is a symbol, a 3-fold symbol. The twisted rope representing the cumulonimbus thunderstorm cloud, the white shide representing lightning, and these bundles representing rain and agriculture specifically related to rice. And one critical interpretation of the shide lightning symbols is that these represent the lightning that brings fertility. Fertilizer. So, as I just said, there are 3 critical chemical reactions that occur during thunderstorm and lightning events. First, the production of ozone, O3. Second, the generation of negative ions. And third, and most important, is the fixing of nitrogen in the atmosphere and the production of soluble nitrates that are dissolved by the rain produced during these thunderstorms and brought down onto the crops in the form of nitrogen fertilizers. And of course, this is the land of chem, and everything traces back to chemistry. And of course, agriculture being one of the most important practices of these ancient civilizations. Whether it be industrial agriculture, farming and domestication as we know it today, or even if these civilizations were still hunter-gatherer type, the production of fertilizers to increase the abundance of food would have been of the utmost importance for this civilization. So the reason that these people built these stone circle complexes and White Horse lightning storm generator hills was for agriculture. Everything in this ancient civilization was predicated upon feeding the people and restoring the landscape into either arable farmland or abundantly rich, naturally occurring food supplies for a more hunter-gatherer type civilization. I tend to believe that they were doing domesticated agriculture, and also a combination of that and the hunter-gatherer type civilization. But these symbols here in Japan are connected to these ancient sites, and you'll be seeing several during this series. And during the explanation of the function of these structures, all three of these atmospheric chemical reactions are going to be relevant. Again, the production of ozone, O3, the generation of negative ions, and third, nitrogen fixing in the atmosphere, producing atmospheric nitrates, essentially creating fertilizer out of thin air by creating these thunderstorm and lightning systems. So now that we've explained why, let's take a look at some structures and examine the components that make these systems functional. And we'll just take a look at the central shrine here. And you can see the Shide here, representing lightning. And in the Holy of Holies, this symbol here, representing thunderstorms. All right, on to our first site expedition for the day. Not too shabby. Again, atmospheric chemical reactions. It all comes back to chemistry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And clearly we are not in Egypt anymore. And I know all of you have been eagerly anticipating the big reveal. For the next month, we are here in Japan to investigate the ancient lightning technology and industrial scale chemistry structures all across the country. Today we are in Aomori on the northern coast of Japan. Here you can already see some dragon and snake imagery, symbols that, as you know, we have connected to lightning. So the country of Japan is covered with stone circles, pyramid mountains, passage chamber mounds similar to Newgrange and West Kennet Long Barrow, and mysterious structures known as kofun. So on today's Sunday site visit, we will be exploring the first stone circle site, the Oyu Stone Circle. And if you're just now tuning in and you're not on the members only channel, I highly recommend getting a subscription, as I have already released some absolutely monumental research related discoveries about the stone circles and cumulonimbus thunderstorm generator systems here in Japan. But first, before we reach the stone circle site, we are going to investigate a mysterious megalith known as the Ishigami Jinja, the stone god. And I'm going to take you with me as we ascend this absolutely breathtaking staircase. This is what I have been waiting for. Again, more symbolism of the dragon. And if you were paying attention in episode 137 regarding the White Horse lightning storm generator hills in England, we have also seen that dragon imagery at the Uffington White Horse Hill and Dragon's Mount, the site where St. George slayed the dragon, and the dragon fell from the sky and touched the earth at Dragon's Mount. Of course, this being esoteric symbolism describing lightning strikes. Yes. And across Japan, we will be visiting not only functional ancient structures like these stone circle systems that are exactly like those that I have been researching and explaining across the UK, but artificial pyramid mountains, passage chamber structures, and mysterious ancient monuments known as kofun. But we will also be visiting temples and shrines that are dedicated to the thunder god Susanoo. And in Japanese mythology, there are deities directly associated with thunder and lightning. And this first shrine and temple will preface today's expedition to the Oyu Stone Circle. Because there is something very unusual about the megalith. Oh shit. The eye. Or rather, eyes. Wow, there is something very, very powerful about this site. I can feel
So
the energy around these stones. Yes, of course. So let me introduce you guys to my friend Teru.
hi. Hello.
We met during the first 2024 Land of Chem Ancient Alchemy and Ascension tour. He was a guest on my most recent tour, and we immediately hit it off and began planning this expedition to Japan that will take us all across the country of Japan over the next month.
So these are eye,
Yes.
but in Japanese, it says it's a sun and moon god.
Sun and moon. Yeah.
So eye and sun and moon is the same as the Egyptian mythology.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just saw an unusual building that had a sun and moon glyph on the side.
And you see, in Japan you will see more, but it's all over sun and moon. All this lantern has
Yes,
sun and
the
moon.
sun and the moon.
Crescent. Like see here, moon, and the other side is sun. That's a crescent, and this is sun. It's pretty common. You will see a lot. And there is a meaning to this. There is a meaning to this, which I think is that. Wow.
Very unusual.
Sun, moon. Do you think this is natural?
So that's what I was just, I think that these are,
It
yes,
says it's moon, and this one the sun.
sun, yeah. I do think that this is a natural formation in this stone. It looks like they may have split it in half
Yeah.
to reveal this inner component. But this is a part of the, so we've been talking about pyroclastic flow
Yeah.
and volcanic activity. This is most likely volcanic stone
Yeah.
that has these unusual melted looking protrusions on the inside of the rock.
Yeah. And what are these, you know, how did it made by? Do you think it's something to do with the geomagnetic kind of?
Again, there's a very unusual geological composition of all of these stones. We'll be getting into all of this. So this is just an introduction and finally a reveal of where we will be spending the month exploring the country of Japan during the 2024 Land of Chem International Structure Research Expedition. And stay tuned for the rest of today's episode as we explore the Oyu Stone Circle Complex and the artificial pyramid known as Mount Coromanta. This is just the tip of the iceberg. All right. And we've entered the shrine so that I can explain some of the symbolism that you'll be seeing. Okay, so you see these formations here that look very much like lightning strikes. This is a symbol for the thunder god, Susanoo.
No, just
Or just general.
just thunder, just thunder.
Just thunder.
Yeah, we don't say for Susanoo, but for thunder. You see, there's a white horse, black horse.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And look here. Another white horse here.
Yeah. And this one to do with Shichifukujin, the seven gods from abroad, like one of them being Phoenician.
And then here in the center, we have more of these thunder symbols here.
But in gold, and there are 5 of them.
And then a few more here. And Teru was explaining that here in the center, this is symbolic of the moon god. So there's a connection between the moon and the thunder gods.
And these ropes
Yes.
with the thunder relief,
With these thunders,
are
yeah.
believed to be cloud, but also a dragon.
Okay. So again, all the pieces are starting to come together. As I've explained before, there's direct connections between lunar cycles and lightning.
You know what's crazy?
And you can see here these offerings that are coming
that one
down.
on the top. It's
Yes.
almost like some man on the crowd. That's not normal.
Okay.
We don't usually have that. I've never seen that before.
And these, you'll see these streamer-like offerings at many of the temples that we've
Yeah, these are also the thunder, bunch of thunder.
placed on the itinerary, which are all, again, emblems of thunder and lightning. So again, here he was explaining that the rope is emblematic of a cloud with the thunder and lightning, and also connections to the dragon. And there's a symbol, unusual symbol here in the center. It almost looks like there's an eye in the middle of it as well.
And on top.
Oh, the guy, the rope man.
That's so
Yeah.
unusual.
What's a pyramid?
All right, so a very cool start to today's series of site expeditions. This was just a little bit of a warm-up, and you'll see what we have coming up next. And it doesn't get too much more obvious than this. Lightning coming from a huge thunderstorm cloud from which the dragon is emanating.
And you know here, sun god and moon gods are both drawn as a female god next to it.
All right, so now that we've visited the proverbial Eye of Providence and received blessings from the sun, moon, and thunder gods, let's continue with the expedition.
Yeah.
And I almost left without seeing these. I just noticed this. It's white horses. There's a white horse here, white horse here,
All behind the thunder.
all behind the symbol for the thunder god.
That's crazy. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the white horse, ancient esoteric symbol for cumulonimbus, thunderstorm clouds and lightning, symbol for thunder, and the white horse here in Japan. All right, so before we leave this particular sacred ancient site, the Ishigami Jinja, the symbolism of the dragon,
Very unusual.
one spiraling upward and one spiraling downward. As above, so below. Esoteric symbolism encoding the knowledge of subterranean telluric earth currents and lightning. Electric currents coming from below within the earth, bringing down electric currents from the atmosphere above. Perfect start for today's Sunday site expedition. Not a bad shot.
All right, everyone, that is it for today's video. This was Sunday Site Visit 74, lightning symbols and white horses from ancient Japan. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will get to the next episode as soon as possible. But in the meantime, if you want to help support the channel, please go subscribe to the members only section and check out the spectacular footage from the Giza megaliths and the Oya stone quarry and ancient refrigerator. And let's go with Lex and G so you can see the rest of the crazy content from our adventures across Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you all so much for the support. I think that is it for today's episode. So I will see you next time.
Yo, are you still watching this? Please subscribe to the Land of Chem here on YouTube and click that little notification button. New videos coming out every single week. And check out this other episode. Come on, do it. Do it now.